All right. Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to another episode of Talking That Talk Official Podcast, where we are comfortable and uncomfortable conversations. I'm your host, Juice, aka The Ordinary Brother.
What's good? What's good? Welcome back to your favorite show. I go by the name of King Exodus. We appreciate your time. We thank you for tapping in. We ask that you engage into the conversation. Most importantly, share the live and follow us on IG, Talking That Talk Official Podcast. So we're gonna get into some pretty good conversation tonight. It'll be relative to the U.S. economy, jobs, pay, all that good stuff. But we gotta hit you with a little intro talk. So your boy been like, I used to be like a debate firecracker, like, just who want it? You can get it. Like, what's good? I controlled it. You know what I'm saying? One of my coworkers literally had a conversation with me, and it was like, can you be around a group of people, listen to them talk, know that they're incorrect, but not say nothing? I say, absolutely yes. And he was like, damn, that's deep. And it was like, after that conversation, I started getting put in situations. I don't know if that was like diabolical or what. All right, so let's do this. So I'm on social media today, and like I said, I normally don't do this. So someone posted a picture of a Trump rapper, and they was like, "See, this guy's racist." Well, it was just a picture of the rapper, and they was like, "Yo, dude's racist. Anybody support, racist." And I was like, "That's interesting that you say Trump is racist." And I was like, you do know that he supported Jesse Jackson when he ran for president twice. He was one of the few people that supported his campaign. Some people laughed. They was like, aha, what this dude tripping? Somebody was like, bro, I need receipts on that. Bet. I posted the YouTube video. I said, you can't say this ain't nothing Photoshop. It's a video of Trump speaking at Jesse Jackson's rally and whatnot. They side by side. Uh, Jesse Jackson introduced him as his friend. This is like, this is the only person that supported me running and building this campaign. Da 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 da. Trump spoke. It was a beautiful thing. So I was like, it's hard to believe that a racist guy would fund at that time, which could have been the first black president twice. So, somebody was like, you taking up for a racist. Jesse Jackson set up MLK, so that don't even matter. I said, it's interesting you brought up MLK because Martin Luther King's father was a Republican. So Martin Luther King grew up in a Republican household. Um, so it's the Republican Party racist or it's Trump racist? I'm curious. That dude never said nothing else. He checked out. It got hot. It got hot quick. He like, Herb? You know what I mean? So he's out of there. So I get this consistent person. So he's like, oh, well, the KKK and the GOP supports Trump, so he's racist. I said, it's interesting you say that because, for starters, the KKK came from the Democratic Party. So now his argument changes to, well, they came from the Democratic Party, as if he knew that already. But they support Trump. I was like, where I come from, who creates the problem carries the bigger burden. I don't care what happens after that because you created the problem. So that stamp is always on that problem from you. So when I see them, I see you. You can't never change that. That's where I come from. You know what I'm saying? I don't know where y'all come from. So the conversation keeps going. And I say, okay, cool. So not only did the Democratic Party produce the KKK, they were pro-slavery. Remember, you got your freedom from slavery from Abraham Lincoln. Abraham Lincoln was a Republican. Get a little hot again. So I'm like, so far we got the KKK, pro-slavery, and in modern time we can throw in mass incarceration all from one party. But you want to call this guy racist, which is not proven yet, but we can easily prove that this party is racist. Not to mention Joe Biden called us animals. He said he didn't want his kids going to school with animals. Hillary called us predators. Bill Clinton and Joe Biden came up with the mass incarceration. They came up with the bill. So all of this, he was like, well, I'm stuck in the past. I need to move forward. That's the past. I'm like, that's the problem with black people. The past dictates the future. We can't just skip to what's going on now, which mass incarceration is still going on now. We have to study the past to see how did we get to where we are, combine the two, now make judgment calls, not erase what was done and give people clean slates that, you can't clean up thousands of people. And I'm just being nice by saying thousands of people being massively incarcerated. You can't clean that up. You know what I'm saying? You can't take back what was taken from multiple black families across the nation because you feel like this is the lesser of the evil when they've done all the evil. You know what I'm saying? You can't say the lesser of the evil because they did most and all the evil. So I just wanted him to say, bro, you're right. You got some points there. They racist too. Never said it. So I got on Kamala. I'm like, Kamala was a lead prosecutor in California, which most of those people were black people. And she incarcerated black parents when she did her whole truancy thing. So then he said, well, the black people she incarcerated was criminals, and I don't know nothing about law. He had to school people on law because it's not the prosecutor, it's the jury. Every prosecutor has the intent to have the highest conviction rate, indirectly or directly. That's their job. And their job is to convince the jury to prove you guilty. And they have the power to reduce, upgrade, or eliminate your prosecution. They have that power. And I even said in the interview, she said, look, I got the power of the pen as a prosecutor. I love it. The fact that I'm able to control people's lives with the stroke of a pen, I love it. She said that. So I'm like, so she's not racist? So dude checked out. He got out of there. He got a little too hot. So from policies to things that actually happened, things that people said and done. No, I'm not saying that either side is whatever, because he was like, well, yeah, they started off as this, but they switched. And I was like, theoretically speaking, can we say that they switched back? Because if this side is heavily endorsed more than Republicans now, it's like a 50% to 30% ratio. 30% of wealthy people went with the Republicans, 50 went with the Democrats. All of your top companies that y'all got beef with, that y'all say don't care about human rights and human health and all that, they all endorse some Democrats. Kamala ain't been running that long, but she already raised more money than Trump. So who's like, you know what I'm saying? Like, what happened here? You know what I'm saying? So anyway, that's the intro to that episode, y'all. I just had to share that story. You know, it's just interesting how people think out here, man. That's how I pop it off. It's just really interesting how people think. And he was like, yeah, all intelligent black people know everything you just said, but we still vote Democrat. I say, no, bro, that's not intelligent. Because first off, most intelligent black people don't know what I just said. So don't try to minimize my intellect on shit that I study to make yourself feel better and your ego. Don't tickle that around me. Nah, we're not gonna do that because most people don't know that. But moving forward, I can see if you say that most intelligent black people vote independent, or maybe that can be intelligent, but to vote for your open enemy because of some shit that happened in the prior to the 60s, because you didn't fuck with them until like Lyndon B. Johnson era. Let's keep it real. So anyway, I ain't gonna go on a long rant on that, but I would just say, look, before y'all give people y'all loyalty, y'all vote, and y'all loyalty in conversations, you want to cut off family members and not fuck with people on social media, block people who do all this. Make sure you actually doing your research, not just where you want to start the research from, but go back, go into the deep waters. See, when you actually get into this world of being a thinking adult that got children and grandchildren or siblings, and you want to actually have a functioning brain, get into the deep waters of knowledge. You got to learn how to swim. Everybody wants a doggy paddle, but still talk like they know it all. That I really hate that, especially right now with the political climate and everything. Nobody knows what the fuck they're talking about, but everybody's talking. So I'll let you open it up or respond to the opening or do you think?
Man, nah, I ain't got no comment. I just thought it was hilarious. Just listen. That's good enough for me. Just listening.
Say,
Listening is enough. Listening is just enough for me at times. I don't.
all right. So going into the main topic for tonight, this also came from a debate. So I get into work yesterday, and I speak to a coworker. Research starts with history. Everything has a beginning. Correcto. And history doesn't repeat itself, but it often rhymes. So you have to learn history first. So um, I have a well, it turned into a conversation, which could have been a debate, but I was talking to a coworker. I had already clocked out. So I'm like, man, you hear about the strike going on with the port? He said, yeah, man, them people greedy. I say, you right. He said, yeah, the company. I say, huh? I like what? He said, yeah, man, them people want a 70% increase. I say, over 6 years. He say, 70%? He say, that's greed. I say, what? I say, okay, so you do realize that they're basing this off of what the company made during the time of the COVID, because during that time they made the most money, and they're the people that actually put their lives on the line. They caught the virus, all this shit. Everybody else didn't work; they kept working. So I was like, damn. So they're not entitled to an increase in pay? And he said, no. So he said, I said, okay, so you do realize that they wanted this also due to inflation, right? He said that your employer doesn't have to give you a raise based on inflation because inflation is based on the market. I said, it's interesting you said that because what you're speaking on is maybe supply and demand, which means the market inevitably taps into a recession. But we had COVID, in which the government gave out stimulus checks. So when the government pumps money, that causes inflation. Then the government bailed out companies. And during these bailouts, companies was getting like shit, years of bonuses and payouts, right? That they didn't even work for. So that's pumping money into the economy, leads to inflation, right? And then we look at quantitative easing, which is when money is pumped into the bond market and the stock market so that they don't sink, which also leads to inflation. So I was like, so by definition, we call that a double dip or triple dip recession. It's not a normal recession because you encounter in a recession in 3 to 4 different ways. So that's not just the market being the market. If we talking about what you talking about, bro, we talking about the 4 cycles of an economy: peak, recession, trough, expansion. Those are the inevitable cycles. What we're talking about is things that happen to where the government pushed us further into a recession. So yeah, bro, companies got to pay. And he like, well, we don't know the bottom line of the companies, and we don't know. Say fuck all that. When you got that extra money for COVID, that's the money that people saying we want some of. You can't just make extra money and put it in your pocket. I say no, that's not how it works. So anyway, long story short, he was anti-union and all of this shit, and I'm just like, wow, really? Like, I was just like, yo, when people be having these conversations, they be like the white man, and I'm like, bro, sometimes it's regular people that think more sadistic or just as evil. So anyway, that leads to the topic: value the worker, respect the worker. In American culture right now, we're not really doing that. We're not doing it when we work with people. We're not doing it when we employ people. And conversations like this, we're not even looking at inflation. And the last thing I cut off in the opening, I was like, you do realize it's not a law, but the way a lot of companies work or supposed to work is per every point of inflation, you're supposed to get at least 25 to 50% of an increase per point of inflation. Like your employer has to keep up with inflation at a particular time. Like they can't just because 4 years ago we was like at under a 3% rate of inflation. Now in 4 years we tapped into 9%. And so you don't just go from 3% to 9% and you don't ever get an increase in pay. So some of your jobs that got unions, they give you cost of living adjustments. which may be like 50 cent, you know what I'm saying, a quarter or something like that. But that's just more proof that the jobs have to increase pay based on inflation. You can't just separate your pay from the market because the market is doing whatever it's doing. So I'll let you do that.
I mean, no, what you said is absolutely right. It's like they say, $30 is the new 20.
Yeah.
And what that means is that is based on the wages in order to keep up with what's going on in the economy right now. What people don't understand is exactly what he said when it came to COVID. A lot of these companies got pushed out extra money for them to sustain their business, but at the same time, some of them was able to do way more, sustaining more to profit, increase everything. So I do believe in paying out your employees the way they should be paid out. The increase of yearly wages, I mean, that's cool, but we got to be honest with ourselves. That's not going to ever be enough, especially if inflation is always increasing. That's why I look at myself and I look at things like around me, like, okay, man, the only way I can stay on top is to keep increasing my skills, or it's like this. Either you're going to increase the amount of money you work, I mean, increase the amount of money you make, or you decrease the things around you, like your lifestyle. That's the only way you're going to stay afloat within this world. I mean, life has its choices. It's all about what you choose to be on it and on the end. I just had a talk about this with potential business partner, bro. And as we're talking about the same thing we're discussing today, I was like, listen, this is everything that everybody that we read on history about in the past has went through similar situations. It's just that now we're in a situation where we're living it now. And
Mhm.
what we're living, if we learn from the past, we'll be able to know how to maneuver then forth in the future. And he said, that's right. He's like, you look at life different. I said, listen, I'm learning this world is really a give or take, up and down, a left and right, a good and bad. I said, I get more excited because you realize what human nature really is, truly. Uh, I advise y'all to get that book by Robert E. Greene, Loss of Human Nature. It's That's just really how life is give or take. I talked about the UU before with a couple friends. I said, listen, there's good things about the UU, there's bad things about the UU. It's all about how you negotiate.
Mhm.
And nobody's going to ever give you anything without wanting something in return,
Mhm.
right? Hey, you want to increase the salaries? Okay, we're going to increase this, which is going to force you to what? Cut back on employees. Okay,
Mhm.
you want this? You want a longer vacation
Mhm.
return? Okay, cool. So with that being returned, if you want longer vacation, then we need to also be able to take off. I mean, holidays is not a thing no more because now you want longer vacation. We need somewhere where we can make up more money. So we need to increase it. Like it's the more things are flowing, things just start coming to you naturally. How this world operates. Of course, I think Chick-fil-A still got the best thing. Hey, you off on Sundays? You know what I'm saying? Chick-fil-A got that. You know what I'm saying? I feel like that's the best thing right there. I got to throw something funny in there, but man, this world is really ruthless. But at the end of the day, one of the major points he said is during COVID, how many people put their lives on the line.
Mhm.
I was out every day during COVID working. Every day I was out
Same.
working. I wasn't even sure if I caught COVID or not. I was just like, shit, well, it's time to make money. People cut back on jobs. People not listen. It's crazy as everything was going on around in my world. The only thing in my mind was I need to make some money. Uh, my job was actually like, hey, listen, for every day you go out, we're gonna increase y'all's wages for this amount. We're gonna give y'all, you're gonna get paid per day this now instead of this. There's people that was trying to compliment you all at the same time on working during this catastrophe.
Mhm.
So the same way in return after a period of time, hey, it's time to negotiate. You know what I'm saying?
Mhm.
Nobody wants the same thing over and over. If you have brought value to that company or you have brought something, like you say, asset wise, especially asset wise, let's negotiate. Let's sit down. Go ahead and pay them what they're worth. Because this is the thing, too. As much as people want to keep on saying, hey, they're going to keep getting foreigners to come and do the work for them, y'all think the foreigners are getting smarter now? People accept what they can accept right then and there, and then they renegotiate once they learn the system.
Mhm.
That's all I got.
Okay, okay. All right, it's a fun fact right here. So, by definition, a recession is when you have two consecutive quarters of negative GDP. GDP, gross domestic products. So they take the products and services um, in a country and they put a value on it. So when 2 quarters come back negative, they like that's a recession. So what the homies did right now that's in office is they changed the definition of a recession. Maybe because they didn't want to put it out there that we got a recession under Biden, whatever. So we've been in a recession for quite some time now. So a lot of us, I was having this conversation with one of the homies. I think he like 40, 41, something like that. And I was like, look, being an adult for somebody that's 30, 32, 33, we don't have the same experience that everybody else had. Everybody else, you could live off 60, 70K and ball. Like you can have a ball. You know what I'm saying? Now 60, 70K for the last couple of years, to keep it real, that's like shit, $30,000, maybe 20. Groceries high, gas high. Um, my first apartment when I was like 19 or 20 years old, I paid $600, all bills paid, 650. It went up to 750, and I was like, what? You know what I'm saying? My second apartment, I paid eight. No, I paid seven something. It went to 819. I was like, damn, this is a lot. Current apartment, 1,200. That's the norm now. So everybody is growing up now. The only thing they know is 1,000, 11, 1,200. That's what they know. We came from an era to where we seen $500, $600 was rent, and that wasn't like government assistance rent. That was actual rent.
Mm-hmm.
Groceries. Every time you go to the grocery store, that's $100, $200 easy. Like it's not. Groceries on an average in the past just 4 years alone went up at least on an average 30% per product on what you're buying. And some of these products is 30, 50, 60, 70, 80%, but 30% is the lowest. So I'm just like, yo, like people got to realize, like if you like in that 30 age group, you really didn't have time to have fun, stack your money, live off this 60, $70,000 salary and ball out and stack. You get hit, pandemic, hurricanes, storms, power outages, people going on strike. And you're like, God damn. You're like, you can't catch a break. All of this stems from American greed, and then you brought up something that was key, bringing in the foreigners. And what people have to separate, and I think this is what people misjudged with the whole Trump conversation, is Trump always said the illegal immigrants, not all, but the illegal immigrants come over here for free. He's a businessman. So they live the American dream for free. So what happens is if your job can pay somebody less to do the same job, they don't just stop there. They think, oh, Jose, you don't know English. I'm paying him slave money. Okay. The wheels keep spinning. So all my products I sell, I'm going to increase the price on the products because now I'm making double, triple. That's how they think. So this is the whole push to why the Republicans don't want the illegal immigrants here. Is because they're fucking up the economy because they're doing the same amount of work or more for less pay. And the employers are greedy. So they like, bet not only am I going to get that, but I'm going to get it on the back end and I must raise the price. Like for black people to fall for this banana in the tailpipe, I don't get it because we come from the hood. If I get some product for a very low price, very low, most people ain't gonna say, well, I got it for the low, I'm gonna sell it for the regular. Most people say I got it for the low, so I'm gonna sell it 10 times higher. Like, come on, we acting like we don't know what the fuck going on. Like this is weird. Like we acting like we know nigga shit, but we acting like these employers ain't pulling nigga shit when it comes to political conversations and companies. And I'm just like, this is amazing. Like
Nice.
it's fucking amazing. So anyway, past 4 years, the U.S. dollar lost 20% of its purchasing power. Keep in mind, we 35 trillion in debt. Like this shit is just not getting better. I was having a conversation earlier, and you know what I'm saying, we were just like, fuck, like we don't even know. Some of us are glad that we 30 and 40 years old because we like, fuck, we may not live like, you know what I'm saying, like that much longer. We feel sorry for the newer generations because we like, we don't know what the fuck they work life and pay and everything is going to be like because this shit is not looking pretty. So anyway, I'll let you do your thing. I care.
No, man, I was reading this Justin Lee Peterson, man. Amazing. But nah, listen, when it comes to respecting the worker, as the subject was brought upon him, uh, everybody want to be a boss, right? Every boss was once a worker, and we forget the workers of what makes the boss. Everything goes hand to hand, and I think a lot of people throw out to the side because everybody want to be a CEO, a owner, a chairman, and blah blah blah, whatever it
Can you
takes.
say that again? Can you say that again?
Everybody wants to be a CEO, a chairman, a blah blah blah. Like I don't think y'all understand the groundworks is what makes anything works. I'm a big person that believes in executing. Like the more you execute, the more your life makes sense. The more you don't, we can look at the results, right? We talk about healthy body, healthy mind. You can just look at somebody's body and know, okay, cool. The results is always going to be your reality until you learn how to minimize things, or you don't become you don't succumb to a lot of things in this world to a point where you feel like the physical matters and the appeal. But other than that, how you execute is always going to be a result of your life, your lifestyle, your health, your body, your mental. It's always there. And one thing I want to say about workers, right? I remember I was talking to a coworker today, and she would like to ask me about my life. I just randomly said, like, hey, did you go to college? She's like, no, I didn't go to college. She's like, I learned all my experience being on the inside and working my way in. I was like, you know what, I respect that, you know? That means like you didn't go behind educational background. You learned to give it all, to get your hands involved, get your mental, start shaking hands. I don't think y'all understand, like, when you're not really educated around when it comes to business, you get fucked over quicker because you don't understand what's going on, right? I can have you do somebody else's job because I told you to, but really you're not even supposed to do it. But at the same time, in your head mentally, you're looking at it like I'm learning more skills, but at the same, somebody looking like, hey, listen, make sure they compensate you for the extra work you're doing. That's what they're. See, there's always different ways you should look at things when it comes to the knowledge realm or anything you do. Right? For some things, people say go and startup companies. You can learn more things in a startup company and work more different areas. You get your hands on more skills, more valuables, more assets. You got some people that be like, work for a bigger company. You got a bigger name behind you. Even though you be in one field, you still have a name behind you as to why, like, hey, listen, I worked the accounting department for JP Morgan. People are like, oh shit, JP Morgan. And somebody be like, yeah, I was a startup company for a credit union, but I did this, and that. Apples for apples, and oranges. You're gonna look at whatever you're gonna look at. The value's gonna always be to me within the skills at the same time, but not necessarily just the company. That's why I say, like, if you respect the worker, the person who's always giving in, doing more, or one of the another thing, I truly would love to get this passed is about, you know what I'm saying, no taxes or overtime. I do believe that should, if you're willing to do that, hey, listen, hey, hands off. You should be wanting to give way more back to your people. Because then you go from people stressing over the 40-hour week versus the people who want to work the 40-hour week. I will work more than 40 hours. And that will always set the tone for the type of work you receive, knowing they're going to be compensated, right? And that's why even the more that gets involved from hourly salary is the mental behind it at the same time. I'm a big person, like I said, end of the day, uh, respect the workers. I forgot the saying. It's like, hey, everybody should respect the janitors. Even what's that? Respect the janitors because they prevent you from taking a loss. I mean, it's always there. Work is there to a point where people like myself, people like X, and people around us, like we don't attempt to shit on nobody because we understand, like, listen, it's a process in growing in this world if you choose to grow. But if you become stagnant, you let the game use you. You got to use the game. That's the main thing of anything. All I got.
Talking that talk. And it's crazy because when people have these conversations about the worker paid less. They always talk about the worker that's a problem, the person that's late, don't come to work, call in, don't perform. But I'm one of those people that you know, any job, and I probably only had like two jobs my whole life. Um, any job I get, I don't mind going all out. Especially, I'm the kind of worker to where the more you give me, the more I work. But we don't want to talk about that worker. We only want to focus on the worker that want everything, that don't want to give anything. And I can't even say that's the majority of the workers, because when you put it out there that, you know, um, let's just say, like, same conversation I had with this coworker that was like, yo, the people on the oil rig, they just got another contract, and now they getting paid more money to work less, and that's just making people lazy. And in my brain, I was thinking like, fuck, like, so what you think the CEO is making, and how much labor is he doing? Interesting. I was like, that's amazing.
Amazing.
That's amazing. Like, this is what we doing. Like, okay, so the upper management people can do less and get paid more on a physical side, not to undermine what they do, but the workers got to work just to get more. And I'm like, this is the problem. You know what I'm saying? And not to undermine America, because let's not get it twisted. Poverty in America is much better than a lot of other places. Uh, being
Oh,
lower middle
yeah,
class,
we
like,
know, yeah.
you could be
Mhm.
a boss going to like a third world country. I ain't trying to have that conversation either. You know what I'm saying? But we see the cheese getting passed around in front of you know what I'm saying, in front of the rat race. We see the cheese. It's constantly moving. Like, it'd be different if we didn't see the cheese, because you in a third world country, you don't see no cheese.
Mhm.
We see the fucking cheese. Like, I know the cheese you get. So it's like, goddamn,
They said, I know the cheese.
you ain't gotta give me a block. Just give me a couple of more chews. You have workers like that. That's like, bet this ain't all I got going on anyway. Just give me a little bit more cheese for what I do. So, in
Mm.
respecting a worker, you have to judge your workers based on the performance that they do. Y'all understand that a lot of people don't do their job. They don't take pride in what they do. To them, it's just let the time pass by. Fuck the customers. We know these kind of workers.
Mm.
We know these kind of workers. When you go out and you gotta like ask for the manager because you know what I'm saying, your server is on some bullshit. We know these kind of workers, but
Mhm.
we also know the kind of workers that come to you and they make you feel good. Like, yeah, I know I just went to a restaurant and ate, but this person made me feel good. They had a great conversation, great vibes, great energy. It's not fair to them that they get penalized because what the assholes do. So,
Mhm.
let's just take into consideration that some people actually do their fucking job. You could say it's 50-50. You could negotiate the ratios or whatnot, but there actually are a lot of people that take their job seriously and they perform. Some people perform not even because they really give a fuck. Some people just perform so well because they want to go home. So they like, the quicker I can do this shit, the faster I can do it, the more effective I can do it, I can get to my other shit. Everybody
Mhm.
got a different story. So we just have to build a culture around respecting the workers and also respect the people that you do business with. Don't
Mhm.
fast with them. Don't give them trauma and drama and bullshit and all that. Everybody has to respect the next person's time. And that's what we're getting away from in this economy. No one's respecting the next person's time. You know, and I think it's based on it could stem from the schooling system. You spend 8 hours in school, you work 8 hours, so you're accustomed to this, giving your 8 hours of time to somebody else. That's cool. But we have to appreciate people's times that excel. So the way that we do that is, even if you're doing business with somebody, it's not based on an 8 hour scale. Appreciate and respect other people's time. Appreciate other people's devotion. If you're doing business with somebody, you working on a project with somebody, and they over exceed your expectations, and they just go all out, treat that shit like you own a sports team and you got Michael Jordan on your team. You're not gonna say, "Yeah, Mike, you went out there, I seen your tongue hanging. You froze in the air. You you did all that shit. We won the game. You brought us back. But yeah, bro, your salary stayed the same. Yeah, Mike, like you just like everybody else. No, Mike is Mike. Treat Mike like he's fucking Mike. Don't, you know what I'm saying? Like when you have a gym in your life, and this may extend past even just the work life, personal relationships, intimate relationships. You know how a lot of y'all do side relationships, however many relationships you got going, family members, whatever you got going. When you have people that excel, show them appreciation. There's nothing wrong with saying, man, like, you know, I'm the boss. I'm cutting the checks. I'm doing whatever. You did. You had a great week. You had a great month. Let me give you a gift card. Let me take you out. Let me buy you some drinks. Let me give you an extra this. Let me give you an extra day off. You know, make people feel appreciated, and the people that work hard and grind for you, they'll work 10 times harder. I don't understand why these employers is not grasping that concept. The harder you come on to them and make them feel like they just like everybody else, eventually they're going to start working like everybody else. So you have to treat your superstars like they superstars. But that's on every aspect of your life. Fellas, you got 2, 3 women. Who's ever the superstar, you got to treat her like she the superstar.
That's right. That's right. Hey, you see, I got the level. You see me? Hey, that's
Hey,
right.
we talking that talk. We talking what we doing, man. You treat them
Hey,
all the
she
same, they
didn't
act
change the
all
line
the
though, nigga.
same. But this is on everybody.
Oh yeah, man. Let me
Appreciate
stop.
hard work. You get more from that. If you just want to be like a conqueror and ruler and you don't ever appreciate people, even if you're just dealing with one person, you don't make that one person feel appreciated. Now they're looking for employment somewhere else. So you want to keep your superstars. You want to keep your important people right here. The way you do that, appreciation. So we got to get back to appreciating our people, man.
Oh man. Uh, one of the biggest
That's the
things about
pimp
being
Yeah.
one of the biggest things about being a good worker is also your contributions, right? Now at work, man, I ain't gonna lie, man. They be treating them brother good, man. Some of y'all don't know, man. I ended up transitioning to a different field, and ever since then, I've been doing my thing. You know, I've been slowly climbing the ranks. I mean, I'm still new, about 2 months in, but I feel good. I feel good. Anyway, a couple of times, man, they always ask me, Jonathan, what do you want for lunch? I'm like, hey, listen, I got Cash App. You know, I want to make sure, you know, everybody know I ain't about to use nobody here. They're like, nah, don't worry about it. We'll take care of it. Every time something happens, we'll take care of it. We'll take care of it. Today, I said, you know what? Hey, y'all, order some food for everybody in the office. I just want y'all to know that real quick. They're like, oh, well, thank you. Da, da, da. So I was looking at it at first because they used to be like, yo, we got a budget to set up for everybody within the administrations so we can spend on snacks and food and da 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 da. But I can always be that person that looks at when they do something for me like, oh, it's part of the budget. You know, they got to spend this money. You know what I'm saying? But I always notice the difference between how that person thinks versus a person who's willing to give back at the same time. And that's just one thing I wanted to make sure I do is like, hey, listen, I see what y'all do for me. I make sure I'm fed. Hey, I got some food for everybody in the office today. I just want y'all to know that. And they was like, wow, that was really different. You know what I'm saying? And I always say that in any relationship, whether it's personal relationship, business relationship, friendship relationship, pay close attention to people who actually contribute. Y'all get in relationships with people who don't contribute. And I'd be like, how is that your friend? How is that your lover? Like, what the fuck is this? Like, yo, why every time we go out, they don't ever want to put in. They show up though. I have to start pulling people to the side, like, hey, bro, stop inviting this person. I don't like leeches. I don't care that how I was raised and taught is let them deny their assistance. Let them deny the help. Let them deny you putting in. That's how you know if it's wanted, if it's needed, or it's not necessary. So every time I go somewhere, exercise when I went one time, hey, listen, how much was this extra? Okay, here, let me put some money. Hey, I just got invited. My homeboy invited me, like, what do I need to contribute? They're like, nah, bro, you good. Like, I'm always doing it. I don't like to show up in somebody's spot empty handed. If I go to a house party, I do things to make sure things get started. I'm always being if I got to be loud to get people around us, I got to pick up a little bit. Whatever it is, you're contributing. Your contribution says the most about you. People don't forget people who contribute to them. Do you think they're gonna forget about people who contribute being a great worker within a company or a great lover in a relationship? Nobody forgets those people. That's why when some of y'all walk around and people be like, yo, what happened with Jonathan? Yo, what happened with Mark? What happened with Ashley? And y'all look, it's like, well, hey, listen, we'll never forget them. I know y'all not together, but shoot, they left a major impact because how they contribute to things around them. And that's why some people be like, I need you to get off the past. I need you to move forward. I need you to bring this person around me. But they're trying to let you know you need to find somebody who can contribute equally as them, more than them, or somebody that can help bring you up. One of my major things that always came to me when it came to business was like always looking out for the workers that are anchors. Anchors are your top tier workers. These are people that work around the clock, off the clock. They do anything for you. Some of y'all have anchors and try to use them for manipulation purposes and not giving them what they want. I used to be mad. I always been an anchor in any job I've been at. I used to be mad aggressive with it. I didn't know how to control myself. I'm like, listen, what's up? I'm trying to make some more money. Where to work at? Hey, we don't got nothing open. Well, shoot, make something open. Like him, bro, he don't do nothing. Let me take his work so I can get more work on my plate, and I'll just do his work too. Whatever it is to kind of just, then people be like, yo, you kind of aggressive, you kind of this and that. But who you are as an individual, not everybody understands. That's why I always say, like, hey, listen, understand the individuals you are. Some anchors you need to keep well kept. Because you got anchors that are beneficial, but you got anchors that are also dogs. When it's a dog, these dog word, that means that anchor is gonna clip other people out from making progress. We don't talk about those type of people as much as possible. That's why they're like, yeah, he's an asshole, but he gets the job done. Yeah, but look at the mood he takes everybody in versus what he does. You got to be able to identify your type of worker and how to maneuver them in the right situations. That's why the more I started being around other people, they would always say, listen, I'd rather put a woman in a position to be aggressive than a man because you see the difference between how things are facilitated when a man is taking direction than a woman is. So I was like, ooh, you start seeing a lot of power switching flows within that. But not to be too long-winded, man. One thing, like I was saying, is be able to identify people who can contribute, identify your anchors, identify the dog-eat-dog anchors, and you'll see the value in how your company can prosper versus when your company becomes cancerous. So, that's all I got.
Chili Cole is good. Shouts out to Itasha.
Man, Chili Cole, man.
QP, man, appreciate y'all. So I did my pimp talk earlier with the fellas. So in the words in the words of Jay, ladies is pimps too. Don't brush your shoulders off. So ladies, you know, you got your guy that's the conversation guy. You got the pipe layer, the construction worker. You know, you got the dude that's the handyman. You got all these different dudes, right? Make sure you evaluate their value and you give the highest working guy the most prized possession. You can't feed them all the same. You know how y'all do. We always say, dude. I'm just saying, respect the worker. I'm just saying. I did talk for the fellas earlier, so I'm just saying, ladies, when you got the guy, even if you just got one guy, if he's doing more than the other guys that done what they did in the past, let's give him more of the poom poom and more of the femininity and all that. Let's not withhold. Let's respect the worker. He working. Let's pay him. You know what I'm saying? A lot of dudes be like, damn, I'm giving. I know I'm beating all the exes, but I ain't getting this and I ain't getting that. Yo, these are facts. A lot of dudes feel like that in relationships. And you wonder why dudes don't commit to relationships?
Why you do that to him?
Because
You
I
got to tell him that
gotta
part.
do it,
Man,
man. I
I
gotta
got
do
to
it.
do it to him,
I
man.
can't pimp
Damn,
one
man.
way. I gotta pimp always, man. I'm full time, man. Hey, who's pimping all over the world today, man?
Oh, man. This is ludicrous, man.
Hey,
That's some
so
bullshit.
for the ladies, man, y'all sometimes the
Yeah.
biggest pimps, you know what I'm saying? So you can't, you gotta get that dude his credit, you know what I'm saying? Give him his word, you know what I'm saying? That's all I'm saying. So anyway, moving forward. That ties into appreciation. Appreciate your workers work harder for you, especially when you know workers work good. So I take it on a serious note. You look at a company like Apple, a lot of their shit they do in house. They's like one of the first when we heard Nipsey say, "I'm integrating vertically." Y'all niggas blew it. A lot of people didn't understand what he was rapping about when he said integrating vertically. That means that everything's in house, all money in, no money out. So what that means on the
Mhm.
lowest level is everything we produce and facilitate is in house. And now we have look these words up. We're not just talking to y'all. Now we have a supply chain. Supply chain means that not just everything we produce, it comes from a chain of companies that fall under the same umbrella, and we only do business with these companies. That's your supply chain. So that means if I need a certain material to make a phone or do whatever, it's within these certain list of companies, and we all eat together. And this is how it works. So you want to look at your life as a supply chain. You want to look at your life in the sense of Apple. You want to be vertically integrated. So your resources, your products, everything, you want to look at your life within that supply chain. And you want to treat everybody on that supply chain like they have value. This is how you scale $1 trillion companies and whatnot. So a lot of us, we just take advantage of the people in our supply chain. And we wonder why we never get to that next level. You know what I'm saying? You wonder why shit don't work. Because we think in a capitalistic state of mind to where everything's about what I can put in my pocket. That's not how the game goes. Sometime I'll give y'all a little gem. Um, I can cook a little bit. I ain't gonna boost my ego. I can cook a little bit. I can do a little things on a barbecue pit. I can make a couple of mean sides or whatnot. I've been selling food lately, so I went to a little kickback, and one of my family members made some food. It was a very catchy thing. I ain't gonna get y'all the game because I want to probably sell it to y'all eventually. So you know what I'm saying? You know how it go. So and they made this little unique dish that I hadn't seen nowhere else. I hadn't seen it nowhere else. It's some unique shit. I ain't gonna lie. And the first bite, I was like, my wheels started spinning. And I came to him and I said, like, this shit is good. My key word is, I can sell this shit. And they was like, what? I'm like, I'm not fucking around. Like, this was good. I can sell this. I already sell food. So I'm like, look, throw two, three of these on a plate. Look, I normally do some of these plates between 5 and 7. This is what I do for you. For every plate, I increase the price 50% to 60, 70%, but I'm only gonna take what I normally sell it for. Everything else is yours. Conversation got real. I didn't come to them with expansion alone. I came to them with expansion and no greed. So not
So,
only am
this,
I gonna put your product out there with my product, but it's attached to my product as well. So now we both eat, but I'm gonna keep what I normally get. I'm not trying to even increase my profit margin. I just want to see it work. See, when you have people that want to fuck with you and they just come to you with their energy, like, bro, you got some potential, you got some untapped potential, some energy. You can do da da da. I can attach it with this. Cause yeah, of course, I want to eat too, but I'm not being greedy. I'm gonna take what I normally get. I ain't gotta increase my profit margin with you and what you doing because I was already making profit before you. So I'm still eating. I'm still doubling my profit margin. See, you can't look at the sale. You got to look at the longevity of the relationships and the networking. That's why a lot of y'all can't never expand. You're very creative. You're very great. You're smart. You got a lot of key components, but you don't see the long game. So looking at everything as a marathon, this ain't my only hustle. Going back to Apple, selling phones ain't my only hustle. I got tablets, I got wearables, I got this, I got that. I'm selling so many different things at this point. I don't even care about not getting the full advantage of that one particular product because I got other products. So I ain't got to cheat my workers and cheat the people I do business with because I'm a hustler. This is what I do. So when these companies get really greedy, it's just like, I don't understand, because you can increase your product sales by increasing your products, and you ain't even got to fuck everybody on every single product. So word to the wise, when people actually want to see you win, yeah, they want to win too. But if they not really focused on every sale because they got shit going on, fuck with those people more so. And that's just not just business. That's on everything in life. You know what I'm saying? But some people feel as though if you want to be compensated at all, that's a problem. Yo, people deserve to be compensated for bringing out something in you that you didn't already see within yourself, whether that's a relationship, a friendship, a business deal, acquisition, whatever. I'm working to get you to get to another level. So, yeah, I deserve something. So, if I'm asking for 10, 20%, that should be nothing. And then you got to have the same mentality and create other products and hustles to where you're not living off just one hustle. So the name of the game, if you want to become wealthy, you want to tap into that 5% of the population that's wealthy that make 150,000 on an average. They can invest a third of it into investments without it affecting their living. That means you're focusing on 9 streams of income at minimum. 9. That's how real this shit get. So you want to be a you want to be a serial entrepreneur, you want to be whatever, just create more hustles. So now you don't have to live off one hustle and bank everything off that and be greedy, knock people off the board and all that shit. So I think we've seen that a lot in the music industry and every other industry. People want to
Okay.
knock people off the board, take advantage versus I can do this, but I can do 3 other things. So look, this one thing, I ain't tripping on that. I got 3 other things that I can connect with that one thing, and boom, I'm still making it. So we have greedy people, people that's not as creative as they could be, and people that's not really hustlers. A genuine hustler, you know what I'm saying? Like 50 said it in his book. He was like, bro, if I sell peanuts, bet I'm gonna pull up at the next game. I know how many bags of peanuts I need to sell, how I need to mix the flavors. I'm still gonna touch my money even if I gotta sell peanuts. That's a hustle. You look at everything as a hustle. So, like I said, my first bite into what they cook, I said, bro, instantly I can sell this. So you just gotta work on your hustle, man. I feel like the more you hustle, you should be less greedy. So I'll let you do.
Man, I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm greedy. Nah, I'm just playing with you.
So when y'all see me on these
Hey,
streams or
listen,
more,
listen, listen. I don't listen. My energy is very much. I can be honest. I'm very much in a dominant state of mind. I always believe in if I'm not at the top, then I gotta get to the top. But at the same time, that mindset was also wrapped around knocking people off in order to get to the top. Then you got to realize you don't have to do that. You don't really have to do that in order to get to the top. So you have to actually have that mind switch of understanding what it was that had you in that first mindset of knocking people off in order to get to the top versus you ain't got to do that. You can still get to the top without knocking nobody off. What they always said was, listen, the product will sell itself. You ain't got to throw dirt on it anyway, any shape, form. Word of mouth, marketing, all that is one of the key points into building the brand. That's why I always be trying to tell people all the time, listen, you are the brand, you are the product before somebody even buys it. I didn't buy shit based off people's energy alone. I was just like, hey, this probably could be shit, but nigga, hey, you got me. Hey, how much is it? 10, 15? Hey, you got it. It's times I done threw money to my homeboys who were doing their thing. I'm like, bro, I don't need it, but hey, I'll support you. You just got to make sure you maintain what you're doing. This whole idea of is wrapped around some things is wrapped around image, but more so people like some of people like the genuine connection, right? And I think a lot of people are starting to get away from genuine connection. The smallest conversations could be the reason why you sell a product, why you don't sell a product. It's why you can move further, you don't move further. It's why you can change somebody's day or you can make somebody's day bad or good, man. It's all about what you give out to the universe. Yes, the universe, reality, whatever you want to say, the environment, all that is key points and elements when doing anything. That's why I say as a worker, you honestly have to understand you're constantly working on where you're failing at in order to reconstruct, to rebuild, or to realign yourself on how to do things better. I remember at one point in time, like before I got my macaroni game down, listen, kicking macaroni around this motherfucker. I'm like, I challenge anybody to go back and win a game. Man. I ain't gonna lie to you. So I remember times just like kind of getting my recipe down, adding a little bit of salt and a little pepper. Like I said, you go through you go through about 15 different batches, maybe longer, to figure out what portion of the amount you need to put in order to get your
Mhm.
stuff in. Like some things I got to be more spicier with, some people I have to be more reserved with. You know, and I might have to take back spicy turkey meat, and then I might have to do just regular like it's different ways you can get your flavor. And that's what I'm saying. Like in cooking, you got to understand you get different flavors with different meats and different spices within it. How long you let it set cook, you remove it out, then you add. Listen, it's the game is the same in business. You're not gonna always get down that first try, second try, third try, fourth try. It's gonna take time before you get your skills up. Even the way I was able to start learning how to speak, walk in environments, be able to pick up a conversation or get a conversation going that I want to have with somebody. I remember when I was involved in the traveling business, I remember hearing somebody saying out the corner of my ear, I'm walking in, he's like, man, I just want to travel the world and just have fun. And I remember just looking over at his table, he had a green smoothie. I said, hey, excuse me, is that the avocado smoothie? And it's like, yes, it is. I'm like, man, I've been wanting to try that, man. I was like, is that really good? Yeah, it's really good. Okay, that's cool, man. Right now I got kiwi and strawberry, but man, I heard you wanted to travel the world. It's always gonna be an opportunity to where you can pitch yourself if you want to, or you can engage into anything. It just takes time, and you just got to be able to know how to enter into an atmosphere or a space without them feeling like you're being disrespectful. So when you understand that, it's the same way in business. First thing to be like, oh, you bought a product before you wanted to talk business. Okay, cool. But so it's a lot of different things that you can do, man. I'm always up for business propositions, and sometimes I just like seeing people get out there, man. I remember every time my boy stole a book, I shared it. Every time my boy was like, I'm sharing plates, I say, hey, bro, start putting it on the pages. Let me know so I can share it too. I'm taking pictures every time I buy the plate. I'm all about seeing growth. We got a homeboy right now that's in Toastmasters. Man, VP in Toastmasters. Hey, Ted, I see you in there, man. Our brother in VP in the Toastmasters Human Resources right now, man, doing his thing. It's all about it's always growth and opportunities. You just gotta take them. Man, that's all I got, man. Go ahead and sign us out, bro.
I close it out. I'll leave y'all with a little fun fact, man. Average mortgage rate in 2022 was like at a 4%. Average mortgage rate between 2023 and 2024 topped 8%, and it dropped down to like 6% currently. So, like, you just got to know the game. You know what I'm saying? You got to understand the markets. Some people can contribute the increases in interest rates due to the illegal immigrants that come over. Now they build more houses. Now we're talking about supply and demand, so it jumps the price. Or we can talk about how hedge funds are buying out homes to where you don't actually access home ownership, BlackRock, da da da. So now they pass bills to where, yo, these top hedge funds, well, let me not say hedge funds, investment firms have to sell at least 10% of their portfolio so people can attain home ownership. Yo, it's a crazy game out here. Like, life is a game. Play the game.
Play the game.
You have to know when to buy what. Like,